Welcome to Brown Boy Does Investing, where I explain complex financial topics to make it very easy to understand. And I'm going to explain to you what an option contract is, as how I would explain it to my Mexican dad. So at the end of this, you'll be able to explain it to your Mexican dad, and he will understand what an option contract is. So let's start. What is an option? Here is the super financial jargon explanation of an option contract from Investopedia, but I'm going to make it much easier with an example that I gave my Mexican dad, and he got it. So your dad, as he goes to Facebook Marketplace, and he sees a Silverado that he falls in love with, and it costs $10,000. Pretty expensive for a Silverado, but whatever. And the problem is he got no money, no tiene dinero, no puede comprar la camioneta, he can't buy the truck. So what does he do? He buys an option contract, compra un contrato de opción. And what is this? It gives you the right to buy, not the obligation, el derecho a comprar, no la obligación. I'm gonna give you the actual example. So you have the Taquachica who's selling the Silverado, and you buy an option contract from him, so you pay him $500. That gives you the right to buy the Silverado at $10,000 anytime within the year. En Spanish, el Taquachica está vendiendo el carro y le compras un option contract. Y tú le pagas $500 y ganas el derecho a comprar en $10,000 la Silverado en cualquier tiempo dentro del año. And now your dad's gonna be like, pero ¿por qué vas a hacer eso? ¿Por qué le vas a dar $500 al Taquachica? Well, so why is Taquachica doing this? So, if the price of the car doesn't go up, the Taquachica makes $500 because a Silverado is a car and it depreciates over time. So, in a year's time, that Silverado will be worth $9,000 and not $10,000. And your dad is not going to buy the car for $10,000. So, he's never going to exercise the right to buy the truck at $10,000. So, the Quattro Cup basically made $500 because he believed that the truck wouldn't sell at that price, and he sold you that contract. But your dad, he thinks that the price of the Silverado is going to go up. So he's willing to pay $500 now so he can buy it at $10,000 within any time within the year. So I'm explaining in Spanish. Si no sube el precio en un año, el tacuache gana $500 porque el carro devalúa sobre tiempo. Ahora, dentro del año cuesta $9,000 en vez de $10,000. Tú no vas a comprar un carro que puedes comprar en $9,000 por $10,000. Entonces nunca usas el contrato. Entonces se queda el Taquache Cup con los $500 en que te vendió el contrato y se queda con su Silverado. Pero tú, la razón por qué compras eso es porque tú piensas que el valor de carro va a subir dentro del año. Entonces, so like something happens 8 months later, 8 meses después. There's like a big event. Amazon begins to lay off a bunch of workers, and now they all need trucks because they're trying to start their small junk removal, landscaping, plumbing companies, and they need a small truck to help them get the operation off the ground. Amazon empieza a despedir muchos trabajadores y todos quieren empezar un negocio que ocupa una troca, una de plomería, jardinería, ocupan una troca para hacer operaciones de su negocio. So now that truck, that Silverado that used to be worth $10,000 8 months ago, is now worth $12,500. Now we're going to go to the nice part where you're actually going through the contract. El Taquachica te prometió un contrato. So the Taquachica promised you a contract. So now you get to buy that truck at $10,000. So now that truck is yours. And the market price of that truck is now $12,500. You now own a $12,500 car. So you decide to sell it on the market. You get market price for it, $12,500. Now let's do a little bit of math. You subtract from $12,500, the $10,000 you paid for the Silverado, and then the $500 you paid for the contract. That leaves you with $2,000 profit. That is essentially what an option contract is. You get to buy the underlying product. You get to buy the underlying product. You pay for a premium for it, and you are allowed to sell it in the future or keep it if you want. So my dad really got that example. He's like, oh, that makes sense. No, si sabes. Muy inteligente de hacer eso. And from his explanation, I asked him to explain it back to me. And basically, I'm going to summarize what he explained to me. So, what is an option contract? Well, option is a contract that you pay and it gives you the right to buy within a specified time frame. And it could be anything. In this case, the underlying is the Silverado, but in the actual financial case of the stock market, it is shares, and they usually sell it in bundles of 100 shares. And then you pay a premium and to sell it at a certain what's called strike price. The strike price in our example was the $10,000. So the price that the person has to guarantee to sell you the underlying, the shares, the Silverado for. And then you could sell it at the market for actual market value. If it's going up, you make money. But let's say you don't have, there's another way you can make money with option contracts, which I think is pretty cool, is you don't even have to have the money to buy the underlying. Like in our example, you had to have the $10,000 to buy the Silverado. But what if you don't have that money? You do still own the contract. So what you could do here is you have your Tio Pepe, who has $10,000 and he also wants a truck. You now sell him the contract, the right to buy, for $1,000. You get your $500 back and you make 500 extra. Now he gets to buy the truck at $10,000. So he spends a total of $11,000 to buy the truck. He can sell it now on the market for $12,500. 12,500 minus the 11,000 would be 1,500. So he makes $1,500. You make $500. Everyone is happy except the Quache because he didn't want to sell his truck. He was wrong. But this is what an option contract is and the way you can explain it to your Mexican dad. And I hope it helps you understand it too. My name is Adrian with Brown Boy Does Business, and I'm trying to explain complex financial terms, business, do a little bit of breakdowns to make it easy for you to understand using cool little examples with memes and stuff like that. So if you want to learn anything about the financial market, please put it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to explain it. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.